Afternoon, everyone. Welcome back to another tutorial session on C++. And today we are going to be talking about some fundamental types and declarations that are being used in C++ as a whole. Okay. This is just simply going to let you understand what some basics with what declarations and function types in C++. And I'm going to be giving you solid examples and tips make you feel a little bit more comfortable with the program itself. So let's go straight. So what are fundamental types in C++? So I think that every program deals with data, numbers, and decisions. Yeah. Every program deals with numbers and word decisions. Yeah. So we use types to tell the computer what kind of data we are working with. Right. For example, is it just true or false? That's bull. It's a single letter like that. That's a char, and then it's a whole number. And then we use int to represent numbers. If you need a decimal, you can use the float type, something like that. You've got floats, you have double, and then there's literally no value. Then you go with void. If you're actually trying to make an input that doesn't have a value, that's when you use void. So, do this real quick. Okay, so right here, as you can see, we're talking about fundamental types such as booleans, character types, and integer, floating point, void, and sizes. Okay, so let's dive deep without wasting time. So let's take a look at this. Data types. What are we talking about? Data types. When we say data types, it refers to the various forms data can be represented in a language. The examples are integer, float, and boolean. Okay, so the integer basically reflect just integers, numbers, single full whole numbers, just simply used to represent that. And then we have float, which is simply used to represent decimal numbers. And besides floats, you can use double as well to represent decimal numbers too, and boolean to represent boolean types input. Okay, so the integral types, categories of data types. Sorry, so you have integer, character, and boolean. And integral and floating point types are called arithmetic types. Keep that in mind. Enumeration and classes are called user defined types. Okay. Fundamental types, pointers and references are called built-in types. So now, without further ado, we're going to talking about data sets. It specifies the range of values a data type is composed of. Okay. Each data type has its data set, right? Let's take a look at some data sets right here. Integer simply means that you are representing whole numbers, floating points, decimal numbers, and with single precision. Okay, floating point double, decimal numbers with double precision. Okay. Let's look at some more data sets. You have character to represent letter numbers and symbols. Boolean, true or false, as I just said. String is just a combination of characters. Okay. Going to be implementing all of that in now C++ program today. So let's take a look at what data sizes. It specifies the amount of memory a data is allocated in data type. Okay. An amount of memory which is going to be allocated to a data type. Okay. Each data type has its data size. Using size of keyword determines the size of fundamental data types. Look at the data size. The data size is here. The integer uses 4 bytes. Floating point uses 4 bytes or so. Floating point double uses 8 bytes. The character that type uses 1 byte. The boolean uses 1 byte. Strings uses 32 bytes of storage. So let's take a look at some few integer types. Then we move along with our programming. So you have negative 6,728. Okay. It's an integer because what is a number, you can see in what position in what the number that we have right there. We have 0, we have 78. So positive integers do not have a what? A plus sign in front of them. Okay. No commas are used within what? An integer. As you can see, there are no commas right here. We are talking about numbers, not symbols. So we aren't going to be using comma in what? Our numbers. Commas are used for what? Separating items in what? In a list. Okay. We're going to be talking about that very soon. Those are what? Arrays. Let's take a look at this. Integer types. We have this right here. We try to implement something similar to that in the program. So yeah, was okay, sorry about that. STD int without curly braces. Okay. So let's take a look at this. Once we're implementing the data types that we have, data sets as well, like everything that we talked about today. We're going to be talking about the fundamental basics. We are going to be implementing them in our C++ program. Code blocks, yes, it's code blocks. We're going to be implementing them right now. So let's take a look at this. Let's just say you are trying to what? Okay, let's declare something first. So int sorry equals 25. Okay, so we need to come down. Fuck. X. Let's just say y equals 25. Int x equals 30. Okay. So this is just what something simple to declare. And let's forget return 0. Okay. So right here, as you can see, we declare them. What the program itself, it's int y equals what? 25 means we have given a number 25. The number 25 is what? An location in our memory. Okay, we're giving it a space. We're giving it what? Somewhere to be stored or saved in our memory. And then we have x as well, also right there. Now let's take a look at the other ones. We're going to take a look at what's the character, character, yeah, character, what's data sets. Let me comment on this real quick. Comments them real quick so that we can move on. Yeah. So, okay, then let's just move forward. So we're going to talking about floating points. Floating points. So they're what representing float point numbers. It has what three types. You have the floating, you have the double. One with one precision and the other with what? I'm going to say two or more precision. Okay. Float is a single precision, double is what? Double precision. Long double is extended what? Precision. Okay. So the float types involving the double and the float is this. Let's take a look at that if you're going to implement it. Let's see. Let's just use float first. Floats. Then use time. Yeah, so because time has a little bit of what? Has a little bit of decimals in them. So let's use, let me just write 12.3. We are going to be using double as well. Let's use length. Okay, length is what? 17 lines. Okay, so as you can see, we have what? The float what? Being allocated in our memory. We have the double what? Function also right here, which has been what? Allocated in our memory as well. As you can see, float amount equals what? 12.72. Okay. Put everything is right here. Everything we're going to be needing under it. Let's look at double types. As you can see, double salary equals what? 125 point what? 213. Okay. 125 equals 213. Okay. Then try and make some little adjustments to this. That's okay. Okay. Then you have Boolean types. Okay. Let me comment this real quick. Okay. Then you have Boolean types. It's also known as what? Bo in what? The C++ standard library. Okay. It has two values, true and what? False. True represents one or yes, okay, and false represents zero or no. So the Boolean types in what C++ implementation is this. As you can see, it said bow. It's raining. It was what? True. Okay. Let me just see.